All right, let's dive into Ye's father. But we're not just going to listen to a song today. We're here to witness something else, a kind of ritual, a surreal ceremony of transformation, really. And it all unfolds in 3 acts: the invocation, the confession, and finally, the transformation. Let's get into it. It all starts in silence. Before a single beat drops, before you hear any melody, this is what you get. Just a direct, heavy plea that cuts right through the quiet. This one line frames the entire track, not as some performance, but as this deeply personal, direct line to a higher power. And that brings us right into the first act of this whole ritual, the invocation. So the stage is being set here. We're not in a recording studio. You have to imagine we're inside this huge, cathedral-like space in his mind. And this is where the prayer begins. So if we look at the whole song through this lens, as a prayer, then what we're about to hear isn't just music, is it? It's a confession, it's a plea for help, and it's an expression of gratitude, all rolled into one. It's basically a petition for some kind of radical, fundamental change. The prayer starts with this real sense of reverence. These opening lines, they set a tone of gratitude, right? He's acknowledging this higher power. This isn't some demand. It's a conversation that starts by saying thank you. And that really lays the groundwork for the incredibly raw confession that's about to come. And this is what leads us to the second act, the confession. Because, for any real transformation to actually stick, you've got to face your past and then reject it. It's this necessary and probably pretty painful act of just casting off who you used to be. And there it is, the core thesis of the entire song delivered so bluntly. But look at how the words themselves seem to be like dissolving, almost burning away. The visual is telling us it's not just about saying goodbye. It's an act of erasure. It's about forcefully burning the past to the ground. This is where you see the song's main conflict, visualized perfectly. The old self was a world star, a title that's all about what other people think. It's tied to the past. But the new me makes a new week. That's a huge shift to consistent present-day creation. And this visual clash, it totally mirrors the vocal delivery in the song, right? That move from a raw, unfiltered voice to that purified melodic harmony. And the confession gets really specific. He's not just being vague. These little bits of lyrics, they paint a super clear picture of that old self. A life that was defined by dependency, having to hang on, and this kind of solitary, maybe even lonely fame. It's a portrait of an identity he is now dead set on leaving behind. So with that old self confessed and cast aside, we hit the pivot point of the whole ritual. We're in the third and final act, the transformation. This is that moment of rebirth, a process that's almost always painful, but in the end, totally profound. This is the answer to that initial prayer. After saying bye-bye, what happens? An awakening. It's this moment of pure clarity, a conscious, deliberate choice to step into a new way of being. And here's where we see the shift from abstract ideas to something concrete. He used to hang on, right? That's a feeling, a state of dependency. But now, he bought 2 streets. And that number, 2, look at it. It's got this heavy, architectural, brutalist weight to it because it represents a massive shift from fleeting fame to real, tangible, physical power. And this new power, it has a name. It has an address. By claiming Cottage Grove and the King Drive, the transformation gets grounded in the real world. This isn't just some spiritual rebirth happening in his head, it's the founding of an actual physical kingdom. So you can really break this entire story down into a pretty clear 3-part ritual. First, you have to consciously shed your past. Second, you acquire new, tangible territory. You plant your flag. And third, you have to fully embody that new reality until it becomes a sensory internal truth. And that leads us here. The transformation is underway, and with it comes the proclamation. The ritual is almost complete. This is that moment of confidently announcing the new self, who is now fully formed and walking in his new world. This line right here, this is the ultimate proclamation of control. Think about it. To go from being a world star, which is basically an actor in someone else's movie, to declaring, "This life is a movie," implies a move into the director's chair. He's now the one shaping his own reality, his own story. So the proof of this new self isn't just in what he owns, but in how he feels. The transformation is confirmed from the inside, through the senses. It's a complete state of being that you feel and embody, and that's way more powerful than any kind of external validation. And right here, you see the tangible result of that internal change. The entire geography of his life has been redrawn. He goes from the vague, ambiguous 7 to the iconic Malibu beach. The transformation is literally reflected in a new physical landscape. So the song starts with a prayer for change, and it seems like that prayer was answered. But this is what we're left with, this question. After such a profound sacrifice of a former self, is the result a true, authentic rebirth, or is it just the crafting of a new, more powerful mask? That's the question the song leaves hanging in the air.